Welcome back to Shib Planet. Welcome back to Shib Planet, everyone. This is Ace. Today I want to talk about why the TVL of ShibaSwap has suddenly dropped just after the liquidity event. Some of you have expressed concerns as to why, and you've asked questions. So today I'm just going to offer you an explanation as to why that is, and let's get right to it. So I'm just going to jump straight to ShibaSwap. Some of you have wondered or would have noticed that the TVL of ShibaSwap at the end of the liquidity event has dropped from about 1.5 billion to 389 million. And you may have voiced concerns. So I'm going to offer you an explanation. And to get right to the point, I'm going to introduce you to the wonderful world of DeFi. It's actually very competitive. So what you're looking at here is Defipulse, and all of these here are platforms just like ShibaSwap. They're decentralized exchanges which offer the same sort of services which ShibaSwap does. You see here, there's some which you might be familiar with, like Uniswap and SushiSwap. I don't really know how to pronounce that actually, but I know it's a popular one. Compound, Curve Finance. So basically, all of these are the big players in decentralized finance, and they have the same mechanisms for generating rewards as ShibaSwap does. They provide liquidity and they allow people to stake assets in exchange for rewards. So if you see, currently they're ranked here by TVL, and prior to this, Shiba Inu would have probably, if it was ranked on this, it probably would have ranked around about 10. I talked a little bit about it in my video yesterday. So basically what happens is there are people who have been in the DeFi space for a very long time. And this is actually one of the things that they do. In a similar way to day traders, they trade throughout the day by selling and buying assets. People who are in the DeFi space, they do similar things. They transfer the liquidity which they have between all of these different exchanges and platforms based on whatever is giving the highest yield at the time. And recently, of course, because of the liquidity event, ShibaSwap has been providing very, very high returns. So it was very lucrative for people to jump into ShibaSwap. So let's see if I can show that with some data. So I'm going to click here. Just remember, this is where we are. It's the defipulse.com. For those of you who are new, this is decentralized finance is pretty much it's the world of crypto. I might make a video about that some other time. I'm going to click here on Uniswap. And I'll show you something quite interesting. If I go to Uniswap, right now it's showing its TVL. Remember, TVL means total value locked. Let me just quickly add, and this is the total value of all assets which are on any particular platform. However many assets it has, when they're locked, it means that they're locked away either through liquidity or providing or staking or something like that. So I'll go back here. So the TVL, this is a TVL chart for Uniswap. Currently it's triggered at it's set at 90 days. I'm just going to click it on 1 year here. And I want you to have a look at something. Let's go back to September, because September, I think this is when shortly after Uniswap's version 2 had launched. And have a look at that. You see the TVL was increasing, and then it got to 2 billion and kept increasing. I think it maxed in the upper twos, and then suddenly, I think on the 15th of November, 15th, 16th, 17th, it suddenly dropped. It lost almost $1 billion of revenue, of TVL. And you probably want to find out why. So I'm going to tell you that this is the exact thing which has just happened to ShibaSwap. So remember I said that November 17th is when it's happened. So have a look at this article. Uniswap's liquidity plunges 40% in 1 day as incentives dry up. So there's your answer right there. Uniswap was having the equivalent of a liquidity event where they would have been providing rewards higher than normal in comparison to other platforms. And so it was highly lucrative for people to jump into Uniswap. At this point, actually before this, they had a TVL of only 100 million. Then suddenly they were up at 2 billion. And then on the 17th, when that liquidity event ended, it jumped down. So I'll finish reading that. It says almost 40% of liquidity on leading DEX Uniswap has left the platform at the end of Uni rewards for liquidity providers. You see, their version of a liquidity event had just ended. So this is just to show you that it is quite normal. And I'm going to try and talk a bit more about the highly competitive world of decentralized finance and the kind of stuff which happens. Okay, it says here that the total value of locked assets in the leading decentralized exchange Uniswap has plummeted by 38% in 24 hours amid the conclusion of Uni Liquidity Rewards program on November 17. Okay, it goes on to talk about what happens shortly after that. SushiSwap ended up they promoted another reward event of theirs, and then that would have contributed to some of that, the yield providers, I mean the liquidity providers from this moving over to SushiSwap. Okay, I'll jump to another article to show you guys. Here's another one on cryptobrowser.io. It says here, Uniswap's TVL slips down. Let me check the date just to make sure we're talking about the same thing. Does this? Okay, this one doesn't show a date, but it's the same. It's the same one. It slips down 57% while rivals boost yield rewards. Now that part is important. It says here, rivals like SushiSwap are increasing their liquidity mining rewards, resulting in a trifold increase of SushiSwap's TVL. So in this competitive world of DeFi, platforms tend to compete by offering high rewards so that they can ultimately, the value of their ecosystem can grow bigger. And I'll tie all this in with what it means to ShibaSwap and why it's a central part of ShibaSwap's product offering. Okay, it says here, one of the largest DeFi yield farming protocols, Uniswap, recently suffered from a drastic decrease in the amount of collateral that is locked in the protocol, or total value locked, TVL. The drop in TVL comes after Uniswap ceasing its yield farming program. So its yield farming program, that would have been its equivalent of an event which was producing rewards. It suddenly became not as lucrative, or the rewards would have ceased. So people would have looked for another platform to go to. And if anything, SushiSwap timed it so that they began to produce better sort of rewards in order to incentivize people to come to their platform. Have a read of this. Immediately after the cease, rival automated market maker protocols like 1inch, SushiSwap, and Bancor, all of these ones here, just to let you know, they're all listed on these. For those of you who are new for decentralized finance, these are some of the big names in here. I think 1inch is there somewhere. It's probably dropped down in ranking. And Bancor. Okay, I'll finish this. It says aimed to lure liquidity providers with targeted rewards. On November 17th, remember that date I showed you, when Uniswap's farming incentive ended, when their liquidity event ended, the notorious SushiSwap's protocol announced that the protocol would support liquidity mining for 4 market pairs which were previously run by SushiSwap. So you see, they see how competitive it is. They suddenly started producing other articles. I mean, other rewards mechanisms to incentivize people to join them. So let me see if I can show you something. Since I showed you already that on that chart, I think it was the 1-year chart. Actually, let's have a look at it right now. I'm going to go into the same Uniswap, Defipulse, Uniswap. I'm going to go back here and have a look. I've gone on to the 30-day chart. So we know we're in the month of July, and the liquidity event started on the 7th of July, as we know. Have a look at the TVL here. I'm just doing this just so I can illustrate to you at least my conclusion as to what would have happened. See, the liquidity event started here. Uniswap TVL was 5.64 billion. And towards the middle of the liquidity event, you see it's gradually declining, so that when around about the time when the lucrative pairs were added into ShibaSwap, you'll start noticing that, have a look at that, their TVL dropped about 500,000 from a high of 5.6 billion to even less than 5 billion. So it dropped that. And then at the end of the liquidity event, which is pretty much here, 21st, you see suddenly it comes back up. It starts, they have this huge spike. And you see, like, people move out their liquidity from one project and move it into another. I'll jump onto another one. I'm going to go to SushiSwap, and some of you say that some of my stuff is photoshopped. Okay, I'm going to go home here, and I will refresh it for you. And then I'm going to come down. I'm going to go to SushiSwap just to show you. Let's see, where's SushiSwap? I'm going to click here for you. Okay, so SushiSwap, and you'll probably see similar things in SushiSwap. I'll head to the 30-day chart. Actually, I think SushiSwap was different. Yeah, SushiSwap was different. It actually went up slightly during the liquidity event. Only towards the end did it drop. But I'll show you another protocol called Maker, which is on the Ethereum blockchain as well. It's okay. I'll just go onto the 30-day chart and have a look at that. On July 7th, when the liquidity event started, they had about 7 billion worth of TVL, and throughout it would gradually drop, very sharp decline towards the end. But right here on the 21st, at the end of the liquidity event, suddenly they gained 1 billion in a single day. 1 billion in a single day. So that's my offer to you as to where some of this would have gone. Some people in this very competitive space of DeFi, where this is pretty much what they do, and it's very attractive if you're a person with big pockets. They earn decent rewards already from DeFi yield farming. So when they hear words like a liquidity event, they've been in this game for a long time, so they know exactly where to get the money. For most of us who are new to crypto, let alone decentralized finance, so you don't even know about this world. So what does this mean for Shiba Inu? If you read the Wolf paper, you'll know that one of the things which Ryoshi said was ShibaSwap is it's a central mechanism within the ecosystem of Shiba Inu, and it's deliberately there to ultimately increase the value offering of ShibaSwap in the long term. I know many people tend to think it's like in the space, a lot of us are focused on increasing the price to 1 cent, and often people talk about burning and to some extent staking with the intent, and I completely understand that everyone wants our coin, our price value to increase. But the truth is, you may not like to hear it, but if you're focused on artificial mechanisms like burning to be able to increase the value of your token, that sort of suggests that the value of your token is not really there at all if you're completely relying on burning. And that's exactly what the Shiba development team is trying not to do. They want to bring genuine value, and how that happens is to be able to become very competitive in this space. And Shiba Inu, you have to understand that it's only 14 days old in comparison to some of these platforms which have been there for years. So there's definitely a lot of room to grow. And if you really want the value of your tokens to increase, yeah, this is definitely their plan, or at least that's my interpretation of it. It's highly competitive. I'll try and show you something. I showed this on my previous video of someone on the Reddit who invested 42,000. So these are the kind of people who, in my opinion, who are familiar with yield farming already. I'll head back here. invested 42,000, and this is the value of BONE, which they had 46,000. Yes, they had quite a significant impermanent loss, you know, but look at the profits. So if this is just one person, can you imagine all the number of people out there who have been part of this world for a long time? They're jumping from platform to platform, getting, you know, a bunch of rewards. And yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to show you guys as an answer to why the TVL here has dropped. And that ShibaSwap is actually now part of, you know, a pool of big players in the decentralized finance market. And decentralized finance is relatively new, in terms of, you know, things which have been, you know, brought about in our society of today. I'd like to share this insight to people who are who like to paper handers, basically. Basically, I think we should take a lesson from farmers. And I speak to people who are often scared about when things happen in the market without information. Because as you know, one of the purposes of my channel is to be able to equip people with information so they can turn from paper handers into diamond handers. Because if Shiba Inu as a token is going to survive, we need an informed community. Basically, imagine if farmers who, in my view, are the best illustrators of illustration of diamond handers. If farmers were like, you know, some paper handers, we would never have any groceries at all, because a farmer, they plant seeds and then they have to endure a lot of things like drought, drought and pests and disease crop. And if at the first sight of any of these things, if they decided to stop farming altogether, then we would have, you know, no crops at all. You know, so that's just an illustration. Maybe it's a silly one. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. But you know, I feel that it's yeah, it's something which people in the investment space need to pick up on. I think that's all I wanted to say, just to let you guys know. Actually, I had no intention of making this video at all. I was making a different video because I promised guys last time that I was gonna make a video about, I was making a video about comparing, my next video is going to be comparing swaps. I'm going to do a comparison between ShibaSwap, Uniswap, SushiSwap, and PancakeSwap. I haven't got the graphic for that yet, and I'm just going to pretty much it's gonna be a bit of a fun exercise. I'm gonna see which one races to the top. I'm just gonna be ranking a bunch of factors. So I won't give too much of that away. If you're interested, you know, maybe hang around for that. So thank you guys very much for watching. I will not take up more of your time. If you liked this video, the very best thing you can do for me is simply to hit that like button, because as you know, the YouTube algorithm is blind. It has no idea between what's a good video and a bad video. It just knows what are known as social signals, and one of them is just to simply click the like button. That'll help it recommend it to other people who are like-minded. So I'd appreciate if you do that, or even to leave anything related to any comment related to the video in the comments section. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting my channel and my content. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. And yeah, and consider sharing this on your channel, social channels, if you think that it's a response to any common questions which have been happening in the Shiba Inu community at the moment. Peace.